Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, I hope a lesson was learned by all. Because today we learned that the mobile multiplayer battle royale game Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier is shutting down in January, just 14 months after the game's launch. Despite all of our efforts to bring you regular updates with fresh and exciting content, we haven't been able to deliver the experience that we were hoping to, and that you all deserve. So we made the extremely tough decision to end service for Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier. We would like to thank you all for supporting us over the past year. Although there are only a little less than 3 months until service ends, we will continue to make updates during this time, so we hope you will continue to enjoy Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier until the very end. Now, if you don't remember, The First Soldier was part of this whole Final Fantasy VII initiative to get people more excited about Final Fantasy VII, to bring in new players. And this game was going to be one of those attempts. But much like another Square Enix game, Babylon's Fall, being shut down less than a year after its release, it seems like Square Enix's money-first attitude is kind of backfiring. I hope they see this next time the CEO starts bringing up NFTs again. And look, it might just be me, but I've never even understood the reasoning for First Soldier. No one is going to play a Final Fantasy VII mobile battle royale unless you're into Final Fantasy VII. But if you're into Final Fantasy VII, chances are you're into JRPGs more than you are into battle royales. So what's the audience for this thing? The good news is more Final Fantasy VII games are coming, so fans will be happy, and maybe, just maybe, the suits at Square Enix will learn something. Maybe. Speaking of games coming out, DontNod has a ton on the way. The Life is Strange dev has plans for 8 games before 2025. During its second quarter financials, DontNod mentioned they have 8 original creations in its game development pipeline, including 5 self-published titles, 1 co-production with Focus Entertainment, and 2 with external studios, Tolima and Tiny Bull, to be published by DontNod. According to thegamer.com, we already know of DontNod's action RPG with Focus Entertainment, which is currently called Project 8 internally, but we know nothing else. Tolima is a Belgian-based video game studio that was founded this year and has no games in its name yet. Tiny Bull Studios is based in Italy and has put out the VR thriller Blind and the Lovecraftian choose-your-own-adventure book-style game Omen Exitio Plague. Neither studios have confirmed what they're working on, which will be published by DontNod. And this is the part where I come in and say, I'm excited for all of these, and I am a big DontNod fan, and I hope that the games are good. But the cynical industry guy who's been around for 12 years questions how it's possible to get 8 games out over the next 3 years and them to be all of the same quality and all of them good. And more importantly, not get bored by what has been, pretty much the DontNod style of game. You know what I mean? I think we all understand. It's very similar to the way Telltale became. When Telltale was just pumping out games, and all the games were the same mechanically, there was no innovation. It was kind of like, okay, and after a while, it became stale. And I worry that 8 games over 3 years is going to get stale real quick, even if it's different studios working on different things, or one's an RPG, right? I'm worried that there's just too much, and, I'm down to be proven wrong, but boy, the cynic in me is like, I don't know. Speaking of future releases, Sony is mighty worried about Call of Duty and your console war update. So it appears recently that in a meeting over the Activision Blizzard potential acquisition of Xbox, Sony told the UK's competition regulator that it believes some Call of Duty players are likely to switch to Xbox even if the series remains on PlayStation following Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. That's partly due to the increased differentiation it believes could emerge between Xbox and PlayStation versions of future Call of Duty entries, should Microsoft's proposed deal be approved by global market regulators. Basically, it's a thing that's been done for a while now, where the idea of the Xbox version giving you one thing, and the PlayStation version giving you another thing, and maybe the Steam version gives you like a different gun, whatever. It has happened for a while, and Sony is saying they're worried that if Call of Duty goes specifically with Xbox, that the things will be better there. Video Game Chronicles says Sony should know how much pool-exclusive Call of Duty content has on consumers' console choices, as for much of the past decade, it had its own exclusivity deal in place for the series. For the last several years, a marketing deal has seen PlayStation users receive content updates before other platforms, as well as exclusive bonuses such as free item bundles. So you can understand why Sony lost that. They think they'd take a hit. And they're probably right. And the fight continues as regulators around the world decide the fate and the future of the gaming world. Speaking of the future of the gaming world, how about 1 million subscribers? We're so close. That's like in the future and gaming world related. Look, this is what I'm doing. We're like 7,000, less than 7,000 away. We can do this. Come on. I'm going to keep pestering you. Just subscribe, baby. It's all good. You get them videos anyway. I'm happy you're here. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing, but leaving is what. I'll see you all tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.